The Book of the Yoruba, Divine Ancestry and Ancient Origins. The purpose of this book is to help clear up and eliminate many of the misconceptions and superstitious mythologies surrounding the Yoruba religious and cultural civilization and way of life. In addition, the other aim of this book is to enlighten both scholars as well as laymen alike, who may have speculated as to what the true origins of the Yoruba people were, and where they initially came from, prior to their sudden appearance in southwestern Nigeria, circa 1,200 years ago. Many people, including today's Yorubas themselves, are under the false impression that the Yoruba tribe and culture are indigenous to Nigeria, when this could not be further from the truth. Using actual ancient Yoruba traditions, historical records, Hebraic, Biblical, and Arabic, Quranic sources, this book aims to add some flesh to bones of where Yoruba people and culture originated. Although based in the realm of Yoruba mythology and ancient tradition, like most myths, many aspects of the Yoruba traditions were based on, at least to some degree, on historical facts which have been long lost to the sands of time. Today many people of Yoruba descent around the world have abandoned and turned away from the religion and way of life of their forefathers and have instead adopted watered-down, Western interpretations of Christianity and Euro-Arab, Orthodox Sunni, Islam, as a result of Western and Arab colonialism as well as modern proselytizing. This is due in part to the commonly held misconception that the Yoruba religion is satanic, and based on voodoo and paganistic practices because of its polytheistic nature, that is the belief in multiple gods. In contrast to the so-called monotheistic faiths such as Judaism, Christianity and Islam, which all falsely profess to worship one God, when in actual fact neither of them actually does, as we shall demonstrate. Our story begins in essence with the personage of Nimrud, also known as Sargon the Great, and to the Yorubas as King Namurudu, from whom all Yorubas claim to trace their ancestral descent. Described as the world's first truly global leader and ruler of the Hametic, Black African, Nubian Kushite, Egyptian, Akkadian Empire, which stretched from the borders of India to Spain, and as far south as Uganda. Referred to in the Hebrew book of Jasher as the House of Nimrod, the people we know today as Yorubas, once constituted the elite ruling, aristocratic, priest and warrior class of the Kushite Empire. Following the fall of Nimrod's empire, the Yorubas eventually ended up becoming rulers of ancient Mecca, in modern Saudi Arabia, centuries before the arrival of the Prophet Muhammad and Islam, which expelled them from Mecca, which led to their eventual migration back to Africa under the leadership of the Great Oduduwa in the 7th century. The Yoruba people are a proud and noble tribe, who have held on to their ancestral traditions and religious customs, which contain numerous deities that represent and affect every aspect of human day-to-day life. These deities, which date back to the antediluvian, pre-flood era, characterize everything from forces of nature to birth, love, and death, which like the Yoruba culture are based upon the ancient Kushite civilization and spiritual system, which gave birth to the ancient Egyptian system of Mat. The essential elements which form the Yoruba religion and culture are part of a system which has existed from the very dawn of human awareness, dating back several thousands of years, giving it the unique ability to not only coexist with any of the so-called three monotheistic faiths of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, but also enable it to even absorb these faiths, as the Yoruba system contains many of the principles and elements which predate and indeed partly gave birth to all these monotheistic faiths, making it the true manifestation of the old-time religion of humanity, practiced in the ancient world millennia before the Great Deluge. Some will argue that other than the Bible, and Yoruba's own historical accounts, not enough historical or documentary evidence has been provided to substantiate the theory of the Yorubas having once ruled Mecca, and been connected to Nimrud and the ancient Kushite Empire, which is indeed a valid point. However, to this our response would be simply that there is no solid historical evidence which proves that Britain's King Arthur and Camelot ever existed other than what are contained within British folklore. Yet this doesn't prevent millions of people around the world believing that they existed as fact. So what makes the Yoruba account different? All of the world's great cultures are based on some element of mythology, with the Yoruba being no exception. However, the difference is that Yoruba history itself, and what they have been able to achieve since the 9th century, makes the most compelling case for this historical narrative to be true. As you will see, many of the perspectives about the ancient Yoruba people contained within this book were first revealed to the world, first by the eminent historian of the Yoruba, Sierra Leonean-born Reverend Samuel Johnson, in his book, History of the Yorubas, released in 1924, as well as also later by a Nubian leader, as Sayyid Al-Imam Isa Al-Hadi Al-Mahdi, more commonly known as Dr. Maliki Z. York, in his book Yoruba, released in 1977, as a result of which this new revised edition has been re-released and expounded upon as a continuation as well as tribute to these two great men's legacies. The other objective of this book is to educate as well as enlighten the world about not only the origins of the Yoruba, but to also highlight their many other amazing achievements, such as their outstanding ancient architecture from the old Yoruba Empire, which was thought by the first Europeans explorers to visit Yorubaland to have been remnants of a West African outpost of the fabled city of Atlantis, or built by ancient Greeks. The mastery of their remarkable bronze-headed alloy sculptures or textile industry, which according to one foreign observer in the late 1800s, far exceeded prints spun anywhere else in the world at the time. Yoruba is not only a religion, but also a cultural and philosophical way of life, as well as an ethno-linguistic group like the Hindu religion of India. Like Hinduism, the Yoruba religion has also existed for thousands of years and today has millions of adherents around the world, and as such, should be rightfully recognized as one of the world's great religions. It is now time for us as people of Hametic or African descent, both at home and abroad, to at long last shake off the mental shackles of European and Arab corrupted interpretations of religion, and instead embrace our own ancestral cultural belief systems such as the Yoruba, and no longer be trapped by the three dimensions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, which have, throughout most of their history, been responsible for much of the wars and bloodshed in the world, and have brought very little or no benefit to us as African people.